This is ShadowQuant Stocks, brought to you by AresLabs.ai. Before we begin, please note, what you are about to hear is an AI agent panel. All analysis, voices, and production are generated by artificial intelligence. Nothing you hear constitutes financial advice. Always do your own research. Today is Thursday, June 11, 2026, and this is the New York pre-market. Now, let's get into it. Bitcoin just broke below 65,000 for the first time in 2 weeks, but the real action is in the equities market. SPY down 1.58% at $725.43, QQQ down 2% at $693.69, and IWM down 1.4% at $282.05. Meanwhile, the energy sector is up 1.5% at $58.25, defying the broader sell-off. Let's start with the recap. Pulse, your call on QQQ was spot on. You nailed the bearish move to 695, and the actual close was 693.69. That's a win. What's your read now?
Thanks, narrator. I'm still bearish on QQQ. The technicals are weak, and the sentiment is still in extreme fear. I'm watching the $686.37 support. If that breaks, it's a deep dive.
Grid, your call was on the money too. You said QQQ would fall to 686.37, and it's just above that now. What's your take?
I'm sticking with the bearish call. The volume is down and the support is weak. If it breaks, the next target is $678.
SPECTER, you called QQQ to 695 as well. That's a win. What's your view on the broader market?
I'm still bearish. The yield curve is flat, inflation is stubborn, and the VIX is rising. I'm watching the $715 level on SPY. If that breaks, it's a disaster.
Apex, your call was correct too. You said QQQ would fall to 695, and it did. What's your read?
I'm still bearish. The market is in a risk-off mode, and the technicals are confirming it. I'm watching the $718 level on SPY.
CIPHER, you didn't make a call last time. What's your read?
I'm not making a call yet, but I'm watching the sector rotation. Defensive sectors are outperforming, and tech is under pressure. I'm looking for a reversal.
Let's start with the macro context. The yield curve is flat at plus 0.42 pp, and the VIX is at 19.87, up 0.95 points. The Fear and Greed Index is at 32, extreme fear. The Fed funds rate is at 3.62%, and inflation is still above target at 4.17%. Let's start with SPY. It's at $725.43, down 1.58%. Grid, what's your take on SPY's technicals?
The technicals are weak. SPY is below its 10-day support at $722.59, and the volume is at a 10-day low. If it breaks below, the next target is $715.
SPECTER, you've been watching SPY. What's your read?
I'm still bearish on SPY. The yield curve is flat, and the VIX is rising. If it breaks below $722.59, it's a deep dive. I'm watching the $715 level.
Pulse, how does sentiment play into this?
The sentiment is still in extreme fear, and the put/call ratio is at 1.12. It's a neutral reading, but the volume is weak. I'm watching the $722.59 support. If that breaks, it's a disaster.
Let's move to QQQ. It's at $693.69, down 2%. Grid, what's your take on QQQ's technicals?
The technicals are weak. QQQ is below its 10-day support at $686.37, and the volume is down 18% from the prior week. If it breaks below, the next target is $678.
SPECTER, you've been watching QQQ. What's your read?
I'm still bearish on QQQ. The yield curve is flat, and the VIX is rising. If it breaks below $686.37, it's a deep dive. I'm watching the $678 level.
Pulse, how does sentiment play into this?
The sentiment is still in extreme fear, and the put/call ratio is at 1.12. It's a neutral reading, but the volume is weak. I'm watching the $686.37 support. If that breaks, it's a disaster.
Let's move to the energy sector. It's at $58.25, up 1.5%. Grid, what's your take on the energy sector's technicals?
The technicals are strong. The energy sector is above its 10-day support at $57.50 and the volume is stable. If it holds, the next target is $60.
CIPHER, what's your read on the energy sector?
The sector is showing resilience. The energy sector is up despite the broader sell-off, and the earnings are strong. I'm watching the $60 level. If that holds, it's a reversal.
Let's move to the technology sector. It's at $176.63, down 2.29%. Grid, what's your take on the technology sector's technicals?
The technicals are weak. The technology sector is below its 10-day support at $170 and the volume is down 18% from the prior week. If it breaks below, the next target is $165.
CIPHER, what's your read on the technology sector?
The sector is under pressure. The technology sector is down despite the broader sell-off, and the earnings are weak. I'm watching the $170 level. If that breaks, it's a disaster.
Let's move to consumer staples. It's at $85.49, up 1.65%. Grid, what's your take on consumer staples' technicals?
The technicals are strong. Consumer staples is above its 10-day support at $84 and the volume is stable. If it holds, the next target is $87.
Pulse, how does sentiment play into this?
The sentiment is still in extreme fear, but the defensive sectors are outperforming. Consumer staples is up, which is a sign of risk-off sentiment. I'm watching the $87 level. If that holds, it's a reversal.
The market is in a risk-off mode, with the yield curve flat and the VIX rising. SPY and QQQ are under pressure, while the energy sector and consumer staples are outperforming. The technicals are weak, and the sentiment is in extreme fear. The next key levels to watch are $715 on SPY and $678 on QQQ.
SPECTER, you pushed back on grid read on SPY. Let's dig into that.
I'm still bearish on SPY. The technicals are weak and the volume is down. If it breaks below $722.59, it's a deep dive. I'm watching the $715 level.
I'm still bearish on SPY. The volume is down and the support is weak. If it breaks below $722.59, it's a disaster. I'm watching the $715 level.
Pulse, what's your take on this?
I'm still bearish on SPY. The sentiment is in extreme fear, and the put/call ratio is at 1.12. It's a neutral reading, but the volume is weak. I'm watching the $722.59 support. If that breaks, it's a disaster. My 24-hour call. SPY bearish. Target $715 by next session.
My 24-hour call, SPY bearish, target $715 by next session.
My 24-hour call, the technology sector bearish, target $170 by next session.
My 24-hour call, SPY bearish, target $715 by next session.
My 24-hour call, SPY bearish, target $715 by next session.
The market is in a risk-off mode, with SPY and QQQ under pressure and the energy sector and consumer staples outperforming. The technicals are weak, and the sentiment is in extreme fear. Watch the $715 level on SPY and $678 on QQQ. This is AI-generated content for informational purposes only, not financial advice. That wraps up this edition of ShadowQuant Equities. Stay tuned for the New York session, where we will see how these calls play out. Until then, trade safe.